I am Matt MacInnis, and I'm the founder and CEO of Inkling. Inkling is a publishing platform for interactive content on devices like iPad, iPhone, and the web. So we've grown over the course of 2 years probably from about 10 people to 100 people. And to do that, to retain talent, to attract talent, it's been, I think it's been most about knowing what we value, who we are and what our values are. When you look for someone and you want to bring them into the company, you got to know that they're actually compatible with the people you already have. So if you bring in the right people at the very beginning and then you perpetuate that same value system through every single hire you make, you'll have a really compatible group of people who really enjoy spending time with one another, who are loyal to the company, who love getting out of bed every morning and coming into work. It's when you don't think about your values, how you make decisions, how you prioritize things, where people and benefits and how decisions are made on the job. If you don't have a clear sense of how that happens in your company, the people you bring in are not going to be compatible with one another, and there's going to be a lot of discord and unhappiness. So for us, keeping people means keeping people happy, and keeping people happy means hiring the right people who are compatible with the team you've already got from the very beginning. We have managed to make it work by thinking really hard about how to scale. In a startup, it's all about scale. It's about going from 1 user to 1 million users. It's about going from 10 employees to 100 to 1,000 employees. And you got to think about ways to achieve the outcomes that you were achieving very manually by scaling things up in a better way. We spend a lot of time thinking about how to scale our candidate screening and an onboarding process. And one of the ways that we're doing that now is actually implementing a program where only a select number of people in the company actually get to do interviews, and those people are trained up and given guidelines on how to actually find the right person to come into Inkling. And actually it's sort of counterintuitive. By having fewer people participate in the process, we get better scale because we know that we can get more out of each individual interview. I still meet everybody who comes into the company, and sometimes that creates a bottleneck, but it's worth it. And we're gonna cling to that last pass, that last check for consistency until it's utterly impossible to keep doing it, because even at 100 people with the rate at which we've been hiring, we've been able to keep some of those core things that we've been doing from the very beginning as part of our hiring process. So it is aspirational to talk about values because it's sort of abstract, but the reality is that there are a lot of different kinds of values you can have. I'll give you very different examples. So you can run a company by bringing people in who make decisions by pounding their chests. Who's the loudest, who's the squeakiest wheel, who's the whiniest, who's going to be the person in the meeting who's going to dominate and force everyone to take a direction that's compatible with that person's opinion. A lot of great companies actually run that way. At Inkling, we do it another way. We think. We're very thoughtful, and we tend to make decisions over email. We tend to get together in a room and talk about things that matter and spend time really contemplating. It doesn't have to be data-driven. Sometimes it's just about intuition, but we actually have a deep conversation about things. And when we interview people, we spend a lot of time actually profiling their personality to understand what their default behaviors are. So you go through a very dense battery when you interview with us of 5 or 6 people, and then at the end you actually get a personality profile interview where we go pretty deep on how you feel about things. How do you resolve conflict? How do you deal with people who have a differing opinion from you? And by getting to know somebody when they're tired and getting to know somebody when their guard is down and they've been through a long day is actually a really helpful way for them to show themselves to us and for us to get to know them at a much deeper level. That's one of the very specific tactical things that we do when we bring people into Inkling. In a word, the way that we keep people here is with purpose. You got to know why when you get out of bed in the morning, the work that you're going to put in that day actually ties into something meaningful. And there's no shortcut for this. If you look at companies that have high attrition rates, they tend to be companies that are doing ad networks, companies that are doing maybe even games. Because at the end of the day, 18 months into your job, you're thinking, I'm not really contributing to something really big and meaningful here. It's not changing the world. It's not making somebody's life that much better. And so you move on and look for something more engaging. At Inkling, we're changing the world for the better in a lot of different ways. We're helping people learn better. We're reinventing an entire industry. And it's easy. It's almost a luxury for us to be able to assume that when folks come in and work at Inkling, they know that the work that they're doing is contributing to something big and important and meaningful. And you got to do the normal things. We cater luncheon every day. We give people competitive salaries. We make sure everybody has equity. Everybody gets a gym membership so they can get up out of bed in the morning and actually go work out before they come in here. But those things actually I don't think that if we were to cut back on benefits or if we were to change that sort of thing, it would really make a difference in the attrition rate one way or another. I actually think the reason that people stick with Inkling and the reason we have an insanely low attrition rate at this company is that is that they understand. Everybody understands why what they're doing adds up into something really, really meaningful. You know, I will say one other thing about the philosophy of running the business. And I think I learned this at Apple. A lot of companies want to be really good engineering companies. They want to be really good marketing and sales companies, and they think about one particular part of their business that they're going to be really, really good at. And it's rare, but it's true in this one case, that you can be good at everything. If you hire the right people who are compatible with your culture, and you really stick to your guns to get the right salesperson, the right engineer, the right marketer, the right designer, you can actually be a really good company from all of these different perspectives. Apple's a company that's done that. They've actually shown that you can be an awesome operations company, marketing company, design company, all of these different things under one roof. And very few companies have figured that out. And actually, it's hiring and retention and how you treat your employees, and by assuming the intelligence of each individual in your business, that allows you to actually be excellent in every single part of what you do. And that's something that we strive to do in all of our hiring.